Biscuits and Blurays podcast, where we watch Blu-rays and the biscuit takes all the stuff and it goes to a town and it lives by itself on a hill somewhere.
That's one of the worst ones I've heard.
I'm your host, Podcast, joined by my co-host, Podcast.
Hello.
Do you see what I've done?
It wasn't funny.
Ghostbusters, Afterlife?
Makes me feel good.
Afterlife makes me feel good. This is a Ghostbusters movie.
It is indeed. It's in the title.
It's the penultimate Ghostbusters episodes.
Until Friday. Yay.
Does Busty make you feel good?
Oh, it does.
Does this film make you feel good?
It does. I think it does.
Okay.
It's the second best in the series.
Correct. Absolutely. And you know what? We've had highs, we've had lows.
Ooh, we've had lows.
We've had quite a lot of lows. I'd say more lows than highs.
Yes, I think so.
And it's time for a reboot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring it back.
Yeah.
It's like a song, isn't it? A song? Bring it back?
Bring it back.
Yeah.
Sing it back.
It got a reboot in 2021. You didn't see Ghostbusters at the cinema.
I did not watch Ghostbusters at the cinema.
Unacceptable behaviour.
I'm sorry.
Why hadn't you seen any Ghostbusters films?
We've had this discussion in an earlier podcast.
I'm aware
James.
of that, but I don't listen to them.
I always thought they were a bit cheesy.
Mm.
They always used to appear on like best bits of different things. You know, whenever I used to watch like a show that'd be counting down the like number one movies, Ghostbusters was already there. Like, it was always there.
Okay.
So I used to feel like I'd already seen the best bits. Plus, I used to catch bits of the first one on TV.
Second one?
I thought it was the second, but it wasn't. It was the first.
Oh, okay.
Or it may have been the second, because I remember the Statue of Liberty. I think I must have caught both at some point. They never stuck with me.
Were you not interested in seeing Ghostbusters Afterlife?
I heard all the bad stuff that came off the back of the other
other
one.
The not so good Kristen Wiig one, yeah.
Yeah. Because I'd heard everything about that, I wasn't bothered about watching any more films, really.
Mm-hmm. Had you seen the trailers for it, though?
I hadn't, but people seem to really like the Afterlife trailer, if I remember.
I did.
And then the movie got good reviews, but it still didn't do enough for me to check it out.
Okay. And then you met me, and
Hi.
Hi. And I forced Ghostbusters upon you, I would say.
You didn't force it. I allowed you to enter it into my life.
Great. But when we watched it, we double billed it. We did Ghostbusters 1 and then we skipped straight to Afterlife.
We did.
Since then, we have watched Ghostbusters 1, 2, Kristen Wiig and Afterlife. Which order did you prefer?
I like 1, 4, 2, 3.
No, as in, would you recommend people just skip 2 and Kristen Wiig?
No, I still think you need to watch number 2.
But then why not watch the Kristen Wiig one?
I think that works as standalone. You don't need the other films to make that work. It doesn't work anyway, but it's its own beast, if you know what I mean. It doesn't carry on any of the original story. None of the original cast. Well, they're in it, but they're not as their characters.
Yeah.
You can completely miss it. You can see it as its own thing.
I thought when I introduced it to you, okay, the best bet would be to watch Ghostbusters 1 and then skip straight to Afterlife. And I thought that was the ultimate Ghostbusters experience. And then any other gaps we could fill in another time.
I don't think I appreciated Afterlife as much, watching it straight into 1 and then that one.
How do you feel about it now?
I feel more emotional because I saw number 1 with you.
Yeah.
And then we watched 1 and 2 for the podcast. So I repeated 1 again.
Yeah.
And I've really grown to love the main 4.
Mm-hmm.
So watching Afterlife now, I'm like, I feel more emotionally attached to these characters.
Okay.
So it means a lot more when the ending happens. It's like, oh!
You're more invested in the world of Ghostbusters now, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, good. And I'm glad you feel that way.
What's your ranking?
Ghostbusters 1, and then this. Straight up.
You wouldn't even entertain number 2?
I can give or take number 2. The bit where the Titanic arrives, I'm like, yeah, that's really cool. And the Ghost Train, I was like, yeah, it's actually okay. But like the rest of it, I don't need. I don't want to see Bill Murray with a baby.
What about Rick Moranis?
I appreciate Rick Moranis is in that movie. Thank you. But he is also in Brother Bear, so I might as well just watch that.
Oh, I see. Brother Bear, the official sequel to Ghostbusters.
Why not? Yes, this is directed, a whole new director, a whole new world. This is directed by the son of the director of the original Ghostbusters.
I wondered, looking at the name when I saw it.
Reitman.
I thought Reitman. I'm pretty sure I've seen that before.
It was Ivan. It's Jason now.
I see.
He is a well-accomplished director in his own right, man.
I see what you're doing there.
He directed Juno.
Okay.
That Charlize Theron one, where she's a young adult. I forget what it's called. It might just be called Young Adult.
Okay.
And he directed Up in the Air, the George Clooney goes to the airport of that one.
Oh, I see.
Right, okay. He's a company, like, you know, they were critically acclaimed. So the apple has fallen quite far from the tree. This is a sad time to be Ghostbuster number 3. Because you're not in it.
No, so any kind of thoughts for a sequel just completely got squashed.
They were like, it was rumoured for a while. We've talked about this before, but Ghostbusters 3 never really took off. And then in 2015, I want to say, like in the noughties, Harold Ramis sadly passed away.
Yeah.
And then it really scuppered any hopes of a Ghostbusters 3. Luckily, though, they sort of worked it into this.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say thank you to Ghostbusters 2016, but do you think this is a learning curve for the Ghostbusters franchise? To have the female one and it be that controversial and, you know, filmed in a improvised way.
manner, yeah.
Yeah. To then go, okay, scripted family drama, let's strip it of everything.
Maybe, but all I feel like it's done is just do Force Awakens. It's the same story, more or less, just they've added in different elements. So there's a lot for the old fans to like, because they already like the formula. It's been done already.
Yes.
It's been, obviously, we've got different characters in it, and they've added in more to do with the man's name, who I can never say his backstory, like with his family.
Egon Spengler, yeah.
Yeah, so it's added in more of that, which I think it's family padding. It's again, it's things that people enjoy, but it's the formula we've seen. It's
a formula we've seen, and I'll talk about it more when we get to the Force Awakens episode, which is inevitably going to happen. But the Force Awakens did what it was supposed to do, and that was to bring Star Wars back, but also introduce it to a whole new generation who have never seen Star Wars.
And I feel like this is what this has done.
Exactly, and I think it works in its favour.
Yeah.
That it's doing that. And you know what? I'm there for it.
But we can't lie and say that it's not a bit of a rehash of the old plot points, because it is.
It borrows what it needs to. It has to stay sort of familiar for people to go, okay, if they're going to, you know, take it out of New York and really make it this family drama, then there still needs to be something in there for people to recognise it as a Ghostbusters movie.
Oh yeah, I completely get that.
Which is completely fair, and I appreciate it. I like it. You're not a fan of Ghostbusters outside of New York City.
I'm not, and I'll tell you why in a second, but I'm glad that they've done what they have with this, because obviously it ends eventually with them going to New York, and that's how we're getting Frozen Empire. Mm-hmm. So it's bringing it all back round, and I think the only reason that film can happen and to be as crazy as it looks like it's going to be is because of this.
Yeah.
They've had to put in that solid groundwork, and I feel like they have. But I'm not going to lie, anything that's kind of set out in the country on a farm, the way that it is, feels very Goosebumps to me. And it's because we've got young adults in it as well. It plays out a lot of the time like a Goosebumps episode.
Okay.
I was expecting the Scarecrow walks at midnight to just be creeping about, but no, there wasn't, sadly.
Why do you think that is? Do you think that's a problem with you in your childhood? Or...
Maybe, but I don't think that formula's completely odd. Where you get kids in almost like an abandoned or dilapidated barn, or...
I think that's a good thing to bring to this franchise. These kids being the the face of it, essentially. It takes a bit of a Spielbergian feel.
What about it feels Spielbergian to
Spielbergian, I've made a word.
I like it.
It feels very E.T. Close Encounters.
Do you think that's because of the setting?
I think so, but I also think that it lends itself to it, because even though it is a small town and it is set in the present day, this town feels 1980s. It feels like the town from Footloose.
Feels like it's stuck in a time warp almost.
Exactly. Like there's a diner and they've all got rollerblades on and stuff. And the fact that it's Ghostbusters anyway, I think of the 80s. So it sort of lends itself to it a little bit.
Were they doing that on purpose? Because you don't really see a lot of mobile phones. I mean, you see them with laptops and stuff like that because that's how they watch old YouTube videos. But what's the kind of time period for this? Because they're dressed differently as well.
Essentially, it's the present day.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we have a problem with things like that. You know, if a joke's made about someone's latest iPhone or whatever,
Dates it.
It dates it.
Mm-hmm.
This, leaving all that stuff out and having people talk about science and all this stuff from the 80s, it has that staying power that I think the 2016 Ghostbusters didn't have.
I agree with that 100%.
Because that was like, oh, someone's done a, you know, it's all on YouTube and look at all the comments in the comment section. And I think people didn't like that in the 2016 one, so they've gone, okay, pull it back.
Yeah, and also the fucking dance number it wanted to try and chuck in there. My God.
Would you have appreciated a dance number in this?
No.
Paul Rudd.
No, there's no place for a dance number in a Ghostbusters movie. In the credits, give it to me. Mm-hmm. But never film it for the movie.
One thing we should talk about as well, this is just a fun fact. Well, it's not a fun fact, it's a fact. The director recently passed away of the original Ghostbusters, Ivan Reitman. But he was the stand-in, one of the stand-ins for Harold Ramis's body double in this.
That.
So Jason Reitman got to direct a Ghostbusters film for his dad and put his dad in it, and his dad managed to pay homage to Harold Ramis.
Oh, that's so lovely.
I think
I like that.
that's what Ghostbusters is. It's a warm hug. But
it's a hug in a mug.
It's a hug in a mug. But it's not because of the first one. I think the feel of this and what it's doing now is perfect.
Yes, bringing it more, because I think the original four became a bit of a family, because they're all kind of on their own, aren't they?
Yeah.
And it showed that they've moved on, but they've still got that connection. Mm-hmm. And I think they've bringing in a family as well. Just made it, I don't know, it's very wholesome.
Yeah, it's nice. New faces though. Mm-hmm. We do have McKenna Grace. Are you a fan of McKenna Grace?
What else has she been in?
She was in that Chris Evans Gifted movie.
Not seen it.
Apparently it was really good and she was excellent in it.
Okay.
She was a child.
Right. I assumed.
Okay, yeah. She was a young adult and then she de-aged. Mm-hmm. Benjamin Button style. No. But no, she was apparently really good in it. I haven't seen that film either, but I know she's done a few bits and pieces and then landed this. And she's set for life now, I think. You
think? What else has she been doing other than this?
Well, she's got a pop career that we hear at the end of the credits.
What? This might just be me and my ignorance. I recognise the name, but I don't know why.
I feel like she's been in a Marvel movie, but I think maybe like she was in I, Tonya. She played young I, Tonya.
Okay.
She's in Young Sheldon. She was in Malignant.
Okay, these are movies I've seen. I've seen Malignant and I, Tonya and stuff.
She was in Scoob. She was in Annabelle.
I think I might know her from Annabelle.
Yeah, she played Judy Warren in Annabelle Comes Home, I think.
Okay.
And she was young Captain Marvel.
Right, so her face has been out there.
This is where you know her from, and I think it's going to really, the penny's going to drop for you. She was in The Haunting of Hill House.
Yes, she was.
So ghosts have been a common thing.
Her thing.
Yeah. Is she good in Haunting of Hill House? I haven't seen it.
That's incredible anyway.
Oh, okay.
All the acting's amazing in that.
She's in this. She's in that. And she's in this. Ghosts and Ghosts.
Okay, there we go. I'm really annoyed I didn't know her immediately. Mm-hmm. But she absolutely slays in this.
Oh, she's great, isn't she?
Oh, yeah.
She obviously plays the granddaughter of Egon Spengler, or as you call him. Spagner. Jason Spagner. I mean, it's okay.
What about Daniel? I've got
Daniel Spagner.
He's had all sorts of names this tonight.
Oh, God. Egon Spengler.
Okay.
This is Phoebe Spengler. This is the family. This is Egon's family, essentially. So she's playing the granddaughter. She has a brother, played by Mr. Wolfhard himself,
who looks like he's related to Timothy Chalamet.
He's aged overnight.
Oh yeah, he's just shot up, hasn't he?
What happened? It was like there were seasons 1 and 2 of Stranger Things, and then suddenly he's like 17 years old.
It's like, what?
It's like, you're a man now.
Didn't they have that problem with it chapter 2? Because apparently he just shut up, didn't he, like overnight? And they were like, oh shit, all the Richie scenes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Chapter
yeah, we
2.
need to sort him out. Yeah.
We'll talk about that if we do it chapter 2. But yeah, they had to reshoot most of it and de-age them, which is weird for a child.
Bless him. Let's Benjamin Button him.
Yeah. Carrie Coon's in this. She plays the mother of these people and therefore the daughter of Egon Spengler. Did you like her?
When I watched it the first time around, I didn't feel like she had much to do, but I appreciated her more in this.
I think she's a very good mother.
How?
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I know about parenting. I think she puts the families first, and she's putting these kids first and letting them do what they need to do. Obviously, it's not going completely all in her favour. Because
you say you're letting your kids do whatever you want to do. She don't know where they are half at the time.
But only because there's nothing else to do in this small town. And then they get ghost equipment. You're gonna fuck them out. Yeah.
I think she accepts the fact that they're both kind of into their science in a way. You've got obviously Phoebe's enjoys anything to do with like physics and all that kind of stuff, and it's alluded that Finn Wolfhard's character is a mechanic.
Yeah.
It runs in the family, and also I said this to you, didn't I? When the film started, they look like a believable family. The hair and makeup has been done great on Phoebe.
I think you're right. I think it goes a bit further than that as well. I think these are a believable family in how they act with each other.
Yeah, they look like they could be related. If you said that was a real family and they weren't like famous or anything like that, I'd believe you.
Absolutely.
I'd be like, oh, are they?
Because doesn't like hairstyles skip a generation?
I don't know. Did yours?
Mine do. No, yeah, because red hair is my grandma's side, and then like my parents don't have red hair. My sister has it.
Oh, I see. Maybe that's what's happened with the.
And male pattern baldness skips a generation as well. Luckily, I got my hair from my mother's side.
And what a head of hair you have.
Sorry, Dad. But no, this is why she has the curly hair. I think a bad eyesight always runs in the family anyway, so she has glasses. Even
though you can tell in some of these scenes that she does not need those glasses because her glasses are skewed on her face and she's just acting through it normally. She does not need them glasses. That's
a continuity error.
Yeah, that's a filmmaker's problem, not the actresses.
Absolutely. I like all these people, and I'm glad they are they're carrying the Ghostbusters brand.
Yes, it doesn't look like they're carrying it quite as heavy into Frozen Empire.
Well, we'll get to that because we'll talk about the ending.
But I'm hoping that they do, especially Phoebe's character, because I find her really interesting. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily think a character like hers would be the character that you really stick with, because she's quite dry, isn't she?
Yeah.
In her humour, but I don't know. There's something really powerful about her.
She likes science. She's interested in the science and stuff. She's a bit of an outcast, not got many friends. So when they up and leave, it's not a problem for her. Fitting in is.
Yeah.
She doesn't really fit in with like friends and stuff. So they like practice jokes with her in the car.
Yeah.
But that is a good like Egon thing anyway.
Yeah.
Because he's quite dry, and anything funny that he ever says in the Ghostbusters films are completely accidental. Like, he's being completely serious the entire time.
Yeah, and he kind of finds his people.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like with this, she's finding hers. Like, she gets a best friend who's just as kind of weirdy, nerdy like she is.
Yeah.
And it's really nice because they play off each other really well.
He is a guy called Podcast. He's a child, similar age. Guess what he does in his spare time?
Does he do podcasts by any chance?
Yeah, he does a cheeky little podcast where he talks about ghosts or the paranormal and stuff.
Well, if Dan Aykroyd listens to that crap, let's hope he listens to this.
Do you think Dan Aykroyd's listening right now?
Dan, if you are, we love you.
Mr. Aykroyd, please send us some Crystal Skull vodka. He's not. I'm telling you that now.
Damn it!
He's too busy. But Podcast is he does what he does. He's a nerd. He reminds me of our nephew.
Oh yes, he does. Reminds us of our nephew.
Yeah, that is a personal thing.
Quite
Don't know why.
Cute, yeah. I said if this was an '80s film, he gives off very Corey Feldman vibes.
Yeah.
In his mannerisms, I think in how his this costume and his hair is as well.
I was thinking that the way he dresses is a bit out there.
But I'm here for it.
Is that maybe because this town is the town from Footloose? And the only way that these people can express themselves is through costume.
Power of dance and the power of ghosts.
Yeah. Obviously, no one's dancing here. Costume for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Good. It felt Gremlins. This whole film felt Gremlins.
That's because you've got Feldman vibes. And he's the Christmas tree.
Guess what?
In that way.
It's not a complaint. If it going Gremlins, you might as well go for it.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. But do you see, the Spielberg touches are there though.
Yeah.
Goonies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That also has Corey Feldman.
What? It all connects. Let's talk about Paul Rudd. I think we spoke about him last week.
Oh, he's
Just a
beautiful, beautiful man.
I'm so glad he's in this franchise.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna put a theory to you. Mm-hmm. On set for the Avengers and stuff, everyone was there. But do you think Paul Rudd and Chris Hemsworth had a bit of back and forth over who had the better Ghostbusters film?
No, because it's very easy as to who's got the best Ghostbusters
Okay,
film.
good, yeah. Well, yeah. So, yeah, 2 Avengers have been in these. 3, technically, because Carrie Coon's in Infinity War.
Oh, I see.
So, yeah. And then Bill Murray rocks up in one of them as well.
He does, indeed.
It's neither here nor there. In that shit Ant-Man. Paul Rudd's a catch for this franchise, though.
Yeah, I think it was good that they got him.
Uh-huh.
And that he doesn't take too much of the kind of limelight away because of his character ends up being Zooled.
I think that was always a worry for me.
Yeah.
It was that if you're going to have Paul Rudd, you're going to have him front and centre. They use him sparingly. Did you see when he announced that he was in this film?
No.
He went to the firehouse and he just posted the video outside of it and was like, "Yep, see you next year." And everyone was like, "Oh, Paul Rudd's in Ghostbusters. What the shit?"
I mean, again, it looks like it's hard not to say like, "Oh, what's going to happen with Frozen Empire?" Because it's my most excited film I'm thinking about this year.
Yeah.
It's almost here.
It's almost here.
It looks like he's taking more of a centre stage in that film, but I think again he can do if he set the groundwork up right for us to start liking his character. But I feel ultimately this is Phoebe's film.
Absolutely. I don't think...
And I wanted to stick with it.
I would have liked to have seen more of Paul Rudd, and I think we will in Frozen Empire. But I think he is carrying Phoebe on his shoulders. It's like, if you ask Paul Rudd a question about like Ghostbusters and shit, he'll be like, "Don't ask me." Like, Phoebe's right there. Mm-hmm. And I think he's that sort of actor to do that. And
I like that.
I think he understands the assignment he's been given.
Yeah. 100%.
He feels a bit Lewis Tully without feeling Lewis Tully.
Don't feel Lewis Tully.
But that's not a problem. But like when he gets gate master, keymaster, gatekeeper and stuff, like his costume goes a bit that way.
You know how I feel about the gatekeeper and the keymaster.
Well, we don't get anything like that until the last hour of this film. Mm-hmm. It's a 2-hour film, and the first hour is setting it all up.
Yeah, and we get exposition, and we get the equivalent of the Slimer scene in the first film, but we get it with Muncher instead.
We should take a minute now to talk about the car and the equipment. The car, I appreciate how rustic it is. I think I'm sorry, but when it's all shiny and and clean and new, like it is in Ghostbusters 2, I don't care for it. I don't like seeing that.
You like some character.
I like a bit of character, a bit of rust.
Character in my cars.
Yeah, because these guys essentially aren't making much money, the Ghostbusters.
No.
So, of course the car's going to get beaten up a little bit, because it travels at speed as well. It's a good car.
I'm surprised that they've managed to get all their equipment working after all those years. So I'm not being funny, my VPN goes down at work all the fucking time. So
This episode of the podcast has not been brought to you by NordVPN.
So it's like, I mean, it took me about half an hour to log on this morning. So the fact that those Proton packs have managed to last all the way through the 80s and have only minor work done to them, and fucking hell, the little science boy whose name I forget, it was Corey Feldman, finds stuff in the car randomly that must have been there God knows how long. That hasn't been fixed, but it still works.
Yeah, well that's the thing with nuclear power.
How?
Nuclear power. It's all nuclear fusion. It's amazing.
Crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So essentially, the film starts with Egon Spengler, a bit of an action scene, and I quite like it.
I know, but it kind of goes against what we've seen other Ghostbusters films do. It starts it off more a bit like a horror.
And I appreciate it.
I do, but then to have his character, spoilers, die.
Yep.
it's like, oh, I've never seen them do that before.
I think they had to.
Well, they had to because obviously he's dead.
Well, he's dead, yeah. But I think if you're going to bring... Spoilers. If you're going to bring the other 4... It's not spoilers. They're on the fucking poster for his Empire. If they're going to bring the original crew back, you can't not address the fact that Harold Ramis is no longer here. So that was the best thing they could do.
Yeah.
I think maybe they worked the script around that.
Yeah.
Instead of going, okay, here's the script. Oh, by the way, Harold Ramis died. Yeah, let's do it for him. Yeah, I like it. I like how creepy it gets. I like seeing the hands again, from the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chair hands.
But you don't like the repetition of the villains.
No, I don't.
Why? Why not, Jade?
Because I don't think Zul's that cool.
What? It rhymes.
I know you do. But I didn't think they were most excited in the first one. Those characters are only made cool by Sigourney Weaver and Rick Moranis.
Oh, you're talking about the dog?
Yeah. And then Zul...
Goes in. Yeah.
Goes, I don't fucking know. You're just watching a rehash of the same thing. I just wanted something a bit different that I've not seen before. But again, I know why they did it. And again, even in the is it 2016 one? It's in the end credits. I think they were going to try and resurrect that storyline again anyway.
It didn't need resurrecting.
So it's kind of like, I think it was always going to try and do it.
I think they used it 2 different things here. I think maybe in the 2016 one, that was a way to get audiences back to this franchise. Obviously, people didn't want to return to that franchise, and that's up to them. Here, it's slightly different, because Ghostbusters is a film for people who were kids in the 80s, who can then take their kids to see a Ghostbusters film and have them feel the way. Like, look, that's you up there.
Yeah. That might be why this feels goosebumps-y to me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the whole Zul mythology, that whole set in the kind of caves and stuff, well, it's mine, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like that could have come straight out of a Goosebumps book. There's no real explanation as to why it's there. I mean, I know you said there's a callback from the first film.
Yeah.
About the guy in the coffin, but who put him there?
He's... Okay. He is Ivo Shandor. He is a Gozer worshipper. And all these people are Gozer worshippers. All these ghosts that are coming out of the well and stuff. Gozer's a big deal. He's a god, essentially.
Yeah. He keeps getting fucked up by 4 people with proton packs, though.
Yeah, and 4 old people in this one as well.
Yeah.
And a kid.
A ghost.
Yeah.
He gets fucked up by one of his own kind.
Oh, yeah, actually. Is that not...
I said to you there's a bit of a plot point there, because when all the traps start, I thought ghost traps did not discriminate against if you were good or bad. You're going in the trap.
But then you said you think that's his business finished. And if anyone who's seen Casper knows that once the ghost has its business finished, they may ascend to a better place.
Exactly. So I said maybe that's where they went with it.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? But I thought that, to go back, that mine scene was just a little bit... I don't know, you can't tell me that the neighbourhood idiots that got anything to do haven't been up there and vandalised it.
Yeah.
Or been drinking, or lighting bonfires.
But I said to you, like, it's a small town. It's a town that has an earthquake every day. People aren't going to stick around. And if people... those that do are old anyway. Like, most of the regulars we see... Regulars?
The town's quiet, isn't it?
Yeah, the townsfolk we do see, they're old anyway. And the kids that are there are just bunched together in this diner and then go up to the mine for, shits and gigs.
But yeah, I could imagine that they'd be literally sat around, building bonfire, having a bit of a barbecue, drinking. You expect that round there, or maybe graffiti. You don't see anything like that. It's all just literally left.
What would you want? Would you want like a crack den hanging around there?
No, it just seems odd that you don't see. It's just all very perfectly clean. I feel like it almost looks like it's come off of the Universal Mummy ride.
I think it did.
Maybe it did. Like with all the cloths hanging down. It's all very very choreographed.
Yeah, that's fair. I do appreciate the production design on this one.
Mm-hmm.
The town looks great, whatever. But I'm talking about like when it gets into the mine and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we see the set from later. Like that's a set, and I appreciate manual labour over CGI any day.
But that's what the others have as well.
That's what the first one...
Second one did,
Second one a little bit. Yeah. Strayed up a bit more into it, but... Yeah, those first 2, like, it brings it home, and it makes it feel heavy.
We will always love a set, won't we?
Me and you are advocates for set design and production and stuff like that. When it goes into like the mine and like, the lore of it, I do like that lore though, like Evo Shandor and Gozer and the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper.
I get it, but I don't get it. What's their end goal? So Gozer's a god, right?
Yeah.
What was he? How did he end up trapped? Has he been on Earth before? Well, they've been on Earth before.
Their plan is to take over the world with their followers, who are essentially these ghosts.
Okay.
So he has a ghost army, essentially. Obviously, it's being put at bay with these proton beams and stuff.
Right. So you say he's got these ghosts following them.
Yeah.
One of them's a weirdo with like an eye in the middle of their head. Like, who was that when they were alive?
Well, let's talk about that. I think we spoke about it a bit before.
Yeah.
But obviously we've got the Harold Ramis ghost, and that looks like Harold Ramis. That's good.
Oh, it's done really well, actually.
But I don't understand how that is a ghost, but then also Slimer is a ghost.
Well, we haven't got Slimer in this, have we? We've got Muncher.
Muncher? You don't like Muncher.
Muncher's just a Slimer wannabe.
Voiced by Josh Gad.
It don't really mean anything to me, to be fair. He doesn't say anything.
He munches?
What's he really going to do? Nom nom nom.
He munches metal. He eats metal.
Why didn't you go after Car then?
I think he would have done. I think maybe he was working his way up to that.
I'd have been like, wow, go into the car.
Hey, you can only eat so much.
So much metal.
Yeah.
He didn't finish his food either. He took a bite out the stop sign, but he didn't eat it all. Maybe he stopped. Hey.
No.
Yes.
He took a bite, saw it, and then was like, "Oh, actually,
I need to stop." Yeah.
Stop that. The ghosts again. Some of them feel cartoony. There's an animatronic zombie in the diner.
It's very, very taxi.
Yeah, the
Taxi
taxi
guy,
driver ghost,
yeah.
which we appreciate here at the Biscuits and Blurays podcast.
We do indeed. We like that.
But I do appreciate where you're coming from,
Mm-hmm.
where some of the ghosts are like that, the one that with the eye, and we get Slimer back in the new one as well.
Mm-hmm.
The sound design for Ghostbusters hits somewhere deep in my core.
Where?
Let me show you my core. There, and it hits really deep inside it.
Right in the Tony Stark.
Right in there. Ah, yeah. I could listen to those proton packs charge up all day.
You do listen to them most of the day.
Most of the time I do. Let me play it just now. I love that moment where Phoebe's... Well, she's fixed up the proton packs to get it going again. But then they're testing it with... She's testing it with podcast. And then he's like, okay.
On my cans.
Yeah. My precious cans. And then a silence falls on the crowd. And then she just starts shooting it, and it sounds beautiful.
Right, but if this was all being filmed right now, you would have seen an exact play-by-play in actions by James.
I have curly hair and a wig. And
He's done the exact movements.
Yeah.
The how she stood. Good.
I'm dressed as Phoebe, you're dressed as podcast.
We are.
Yeah, we look exactly like them. You look like Corey Haim or Feldman. I forget which one.
Feldman.
Great. But yeah, I love that. I love those noises. And I went to the cinema to the fan event. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Jamie from the Cat in the Hat episode, who I went to see that with. She's probably listening.
She's an icon.
She's great. Love you, Jamie. But we saw Ghostbusters together.
Yeah.
On the big screen, in that silence just before she starts shooting it, you could hear a pin drop because it was full of Ghostbusters fans.
Yeah, you'd expect so at a fan event.
Yeah. well, yeah. Fuck off. But then she starts shooting it, and everyone went, "Oh."
I was like, yeah.
Oh. You know, in Skyfall, when he turns the light on and then the DB5's sat there?
Yeah.
Everyone went, "Ooh." You know what I mean?
The fans know.
Yeah. And I also like the Ecto 1's siren. You only hear that once in this.
Yeah.
But it's good.
It just really hits that spot.
Why aren't the Ghostbusters friends anymore?
I don't know. Maybe they've all just gone their own separate ways. Life happens. They lost money. Obviously, we know that, what do you call it? Spengler. Spendoodle. He runs off and he pisses everyone off. They weren't making any money, were they? Because they weren't getting any
Well, ghosts were on the decrease.
The ghosts were on the decrease. They went, but then ghosts seem to have completely disappeared from the world because they say there hasn't been any ghost sightings in like 30 years or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine a world without any ghosts?
What a sad world this would be.
Who's gonna knock any drinks over? The cats.
Oh, cats can do it.
Yeah. Spengler is prophesizing about the end of the world, and it's around 2021. I think there's a prophecy or something.
And they all think he's gone mad.
But then because no one's listening to him, Spengler steals all the stuff and he fucks off to this dirt farm.
Mm-hmm.
And we know this from a phone call with Ray that Phoebe has when she's in prison. That's quite good acting from Aykroyd, I think.
Oh, he's an absolute gem.
Yeah, we know your thoughts on Aykroyd.
Oh, I love him so much.
He's old. So old. But do you think it's... When you see an older actor recreate, play a character they're famous for again, but then they've got an emotional beat,
yeah,
does that hit for you?
Oh, it does, 100%.
Yeah, I feel the same.
Unless you're Bill Murray.
Okay, obviously the original three come back. Ernie Hudson, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd. Which of these gets away with it?
Ernie Hudson is still sexy.
Yeah, he's got the mustache back.
Oh, he's got the mustache.
Yes!
It works for him.
He looks good.
He is a beautiful, beautiful man.
Ernie Hudson, if you're listening, never shave.
Never shave. You're beautiful.
Oh, I'm so glad he's back. Winston,
he's still too cool to be hanging around with them.
I'd argue he's cooler.
Yeah, but he's a big businessman now.
Yeah, he's a millionaire, I guess.
I love that for him.
Yeah, Bill Murray didn't need to come back for this.
No. But it looks like, obviously, with the end credit scenes, is he in a relationship still with Sigourney Weaver's character? Because that could be quite nice if they touch upon that in the new one.
They've patched things up and they've got an adopted kid together. When I say adopted, it's her child.
They could end up in the new one.
I don't want...
Could that be Acaster? Oh,
could it be Acaster? I reckon it could.
I wonder if they'll tie it in.
What? So the child of Sigourney Weaver, beautiful Sigourney Weaver, and scrotum-faced Bill Murray.
Yeah, but it's not his child, is it?
Of course, it's
her
not.
child with her first husband.
And he is British. Ah.
In fact, could I have touched upon something? That could be cool if I have.
If it comes out that Acaster is the son of Sigourney Weaver, that's going to be bonkers casting because Sigourney Weaver's cool, and Acaster, love him as I do, is not very cool.
But this could be all for nothing because he might not be.
Just rocks up. Yeah, fair play, man, fair play. That's my Acaster impression.
Excellent.
Thank you.
But no, I think it'd be nice if they are still together, but it's alluded that they are in the credits.
Thinking about it now, actively right now, I want Weaver in the suit.
Yes.
I want Weaver in the suit. I want a proton pack on Weaver, and I want some closure to the whole Dana being a bit of a wet lettuce.
Yeah, because at the moment she's always been the kind of damsel in distress.
Here, though, like at the end of the credits, she's doing the test that Bill Murray was doing in the first one. But Bill Murray's being electrocuted and stuff.
She's the one in power.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see her in that role.
Tell me about it.
You're like, you can.
Oh, Miss Weaver.
You can dominate me anytime you
want.
want.
Miss Weaver. I love Sigourney Weaver. That's no secret. You don't like? Well, you do like actually. Little mini Stay Puft marshmallow men.
Oh my god, they're my favourite things ever.
I can't stand them.
Why?
I think they're minion-esque.
They're babies.
I do appreciate though how they kill themselves
and they don't care.
And they're not bothered. They are not phased.
Like the one in the blender, and then when it's all mushed up, it's like, hey, on the side. Yeah. Like, hello.
The one that is walking onto the barbecue and is slowly melting, and then he does the Terminator 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, and he's just smiling. He's like, hey.
Yeah, that was nice. But no, I can't. I don't like them, and I'm not glad they're back.
Why?
I just don't care. I think maybe it's because I don't like marshmallow.
Maybe, and that's why you're an absolute animal.
I think it's animalistic for anyone to chew something that texture.
Oh my god, this is quite specific.
I just But
I think that's where it gets a bit, again, it falls into Goosebumps territory. It feels very, if you've seen that film as well, the gummy bears all come to life in that film and start attacking them.
The Jack Black one?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Or it might be the second one.
I haven't seen this one.
My nephew really likes it, so I've watched it when babysitting. So
Okay.
but I don't know if it could be in some of the other books and stuff as well, where you've got candy or sweets coming to life.
I find it ironic that any time I've ever read or watched Goosebumps, never had goosebumps.
I'm not laughing at that. I don't know why just the marshmallows would come to life. Is it because it's Gozer and that's what she used last time to try and destroy man?
Well, at this point, everything's loose anyway.
I mean, why didn't everything else come? Why did the Reese's Pieces not come to life?
Oh, your problem is that none of the other chocolate came to life.
Just the marshmallows.
Because they are little marshmallow men.
Because I was thinking, is it just that they're appearing in front of Rudd's character, but then they don't. They appear again in the car, don't they, causing havoc?
Yeah. I think it's because we need them to fuck about in the finale.
But they end up, don't they, back in the ghost trap? So were they always ghosts? And then again, ghosts of what?
I'll tell you what it is. It's fan service, and it's not done well.
No.
Is my only gripe. You know what fan service is done well?
What?
The dogs. I know you don't like them. The Keymaster.
They look good though.
Animatronic.
That's why you
Let's go, animatronic alert. Big fans of animatronics here. Five Nights at Freddy's for you. Jurassic Park for me. It's the scale of animatronics.
Show me again. Show me that scale.
It's massive.
How big was the animatronic again, James?
Well, it's that big. Okay? We start here with Jurassic Park, and then that's Five Nights. That's where we are now.
Yeah.
I love me an animatronic.
You didn't say.
Blends in well with the CG, though, I thought.
Yeah, I think it was a nice mix of both, that was. And I will always prefer an animatronic to a CG monster.
I appreciate that, but when Paul Rudd throws the Baskin Robbins sponsor at the dog, that's funny.
Yeah, that's unintentionally funny.
Is that because Ant-Man, when he was in Ant-Man, he worked at Baskin Robbins? Is that
Yes.
Oh, okay. Or does Paul Rudd really like
he
ice cream?
He picked the correct flavour as well. He got cookie dough in his hands, so we like that.
Yeah. I think I lost count at how many times Paul Rudd pulls that face.
We should do a drinking game that's really boring. So every time he pulls that face, you take a shot, because you'll be done dead quick.
Yeah, I hope you guys know which face we're talking about here. But it's when Paul Rudd does the... Oh, how do you even explain it?
Show me and I'll try and describe your face.
Okay.
It's a kind of like, yeah, alright sort of face, yeah.
His mouth sort of sinks in...
It's like a happy shrug almost, like,
it's
an agreeable shrug.
It's a facial shrug.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Never bored of seeing it. I think it's great. Terrible teacher, though.
Yeah, he's got an enthusiasm I quite like, though.
Do you think that's because Paul Rudd is a fan of Ghostbusters and it shines through?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will always appreciate passion.
More energy.
More energy. More footwork. More energy.
When the mother, forget her name, Carrie Coon, and Paul Rudd get possessed by the dogs, they start talking like the dogs, which I don't remember that happening in the first one.
I don't. I also don't remember Sigourney Weaver just ripping her clothes off and just revealing a fabulous dress. She'd already got there in her closet from the looks of it.
Oh, yeah. Also, it was a different colour, so maybe times have changed.
Yeah, that's the thing. Zool demands a gold sparkly dress.
Zool is fabulous. Like there's a scene where they do the meeting of the two. Paul Rudd goes, "I like your eyes," and then she says something, but I can never tell what she says.
I think it's done on purpose, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, because she growls, doesn't she?
Oh, okay. I just thought it was bad dubbing.
What I didn't quite understand about it is that neither of them were trying to get to each other, at the same time.
There seemed like a bit of an urgency, and also it felt like in the original, like Lewis Tully, I forget which one he was like looking for her everywhere, but she was still in one place. But
waiting for him, so it's changed it around a bit.
This is is that a thing?
Maybe, but it not that bothered.
Not that
really.
bothered.
It doesn't change anything for me.
They
still end up doing the nasty.
Yeah. Gozer rocks up, played by a gymnast and Olivia Wilde. What do you make of that?
Has she been cancelled?
I can't remember. I think people didn't like "Don't Worry, Darling," and then therefore
and her behaviour around that. Yeah.
Yeah. Which was a wild time to be alive.
What a time!
What a time! Do you remember when Harry Styles spat on Chris Pine?
Oh my god!
Do you remember that discourse? That was weird. Anyway. Yeah, I like Goza's design. I always have done.
Yeah, it still kept that 80s retro vibe to it.
Do you know why? 'Cause
Why?
It's timeless.
Got a timeless vibe in. Got a bodysuit on.
Yep.
Rocking it.
An all-in-one. A onesie, essentially.
An all-in-one, but you know when they try to go to the toilet, it's going to be a fucker to take off, there is.
I don't think gods need to urinate.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, great. Did you like Phoebe's stand-up routine?
I was playing on my phone.
You were. You missed a cracker of a joke.
Yeah, I've seen it before though, and it didn't excite me.
I'm going to tell it for you again. You ready?
Oh no.
Grasshopper walks into a bar, and the barman says, "We've got a drink named after you." And then the grasshopper says, "You have a drink named Steve?" First time I heard that joke in this film, couldn't stop laughing.
That's because it's you.
I never heard that joke before.
I can imagine everyone in the cinema being silent and you just like.
Yeah, who said Steve?
Everyone's like, "Who's that dickhead who not shut up?"
Because what I was thinking about is like the grasshopper is it's a cocktail, right? But also
Yeah.
the finale of this, I think it's loud, it's epileptic fit inducing.
Oh, it is. Yeah, there's a lot of brightness, a lot of flashing lights,
A lot of noise. I like it.
I'm here for the finale.
Yeah, you liked it a lot.
The
didn't you?
stuff going off inside the volcano cave tunnel, I didn't care for. I preferred it when we were back on the dirt farm. That's for me where it hit emotionally as well.
Yeah. We didn't talk about our boy JK.
Oh, was the scary man?
As the guy who gets ripped in half.
Oh, okay. Well, he's in it for like 2 seconds, isn't he?
So why cast him?
Because he wants to be in a Ghostbusters film.
Okay, yeah. I'd like to have seen him play a bad guy. That's all I'm saying about that.
Now let's just have a moment of silence for a side character that we didn't need and didn't do anything. Finn Wolfhard's love interest.
Oh
/
God,
friend.
we didn't even talk about Lucky.
She only exists to help get them their equipment back,
She's the daughter of the policeman.
and she does nothing.
Oh no!
I don't think she was needed. I think you could have cut her out, and you would not have guessed anything more.
I don't think she added anything to it.
That's what I mean. She. That's the thing. For me, characters should make sense in the plot.
Mm-hmm.
She made no sense other than to be a love interest when nothing really happens.
Yeah.
She doesn't really add to the finale other than them becoming a dog.
Yeah, but that's not adding anything to it. That's just
No.
being a dog.
And I think it's because they needed somebody to fill that role.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, imagine if she'd have had sex with Paul Rudd, that'd have been really wrong.
Oh, to do the thing, yeah.
Yeah. But it didn't.
Didn't pan out that way, thank God.
I mean, I'm hoping she gets more to do and she makes more sense in Frozen Empire. The trailer suggests maybe she doesn't, but we'll have to see. But I'm opening my...
Yeah.
I'd like to see her do more because she's
fine.
She's fine. She does what she needs to do, but she doesn't have a lot to do, which is annoying. Why write her in to have her...
Appreciate
have her just chilling in the background.
I think it's because you don't want Finn Wolfhard to not have any friends.
I know what you mean, yeah. She's banging around with his sister like a weirdo.
Yeah, but the finale's where this really packs an emotional punch here.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the original Ghostbusters team up, they come back.
Yes.
I said to you I would have liked them to come back guns blazing.
And what did I say?
You said no. Don't. They're not those people.
They're not that cool.
I think Ghostbusters is cooler than it actually is.
Yeah, but as people, they're still nerds, and they still came in chatting shit before they did anything.
Yeah, wisecrackers is what they is.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they're cleverer than you. That's why they know it.
They're doctors and everything. Bill Murray's quite annoying, though.
He has too much to say.
Yeah, because he's like flirting with Gozer a little bit.
I didn't care for any of that.
Yeah, but it makes sense because like he does that a bit in the first one.
So, I'm gonna come across as such a Bill Murray hater.
We
and
don't hate-
I'm not, honestly.
Uh-huh.
I find his character in this completely despicable. I just
You
don't
just don't like him.
He just gives me the ick.
Ironically, I find him slimy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think
Slimer.
Slimer.
I needed more Aykroyd.
You
and
got
a more sexy Winston.
you do get some good Aykroyd action because he comes back and he says like, "When you piss off to your own dimension or something."
We don't get enough.
And then Gozer asks, "Are you a god?" And then stops
Yeah.
for a bit and he's like, "Yes, I am." I was like, "Yes, you are, Aykroyd.
Yes, you are.
It's because of you we're here."
It all connects.
It all connects. But Winston for me gets the
Oh yeah.
packs the punch emotionally.
He does.
Where...
And he's visually like tearing up as well when he turns to the side and you can see his dead friend.
His dead friend. Well, throughout this, Harold Ramis's ghost has been helping slightly. It feels very Close Encounters in that respect.
Yeah.
But this is where we see him fully fledged in ghost form. Obviously, Harold Ramis wasn't there to shoot the scene. Or maybe he was.
I'd like to think he was.
Okay. But no, they had a stand-in. And some facial CGI as well. We've seen CGI like that fail sometimes.
Yeah, I think this was done with such respect.
It was done respectfully, and also because he is a ghost, he is an apparition. You can get away with that shit.
Yeah, because he's not. He's partly see-through as well, so
Yeah.
they can play with things like the contrast, the colour. They've got the option to make it how they want to, really. So if it falls into the slight cartoony bit, I mean, it doesn't, but if it did, you can get away with it a little bit more.
Also, he doesn't say anything.
Which I think, again, was a good shout.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, like, what would you have him say?
But there's more emotion in what he doesn't say.
I think Harold Ramis was always that sort of actor. He was a reactor more than he was an actor. Because if you see him in that first Ghostbusters film, he's reacting more than he's acting. So it sort of makes sense for that to be what he's doing here.
But ghosts can't say anything other than shh.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I mean, when do we ever hear any of the ghosts talk?
Slimer?
Does Slimer talk?
In the cartoon he does.
Well, he doesn't in the films, so...
Does he not go, hey, I'm driving the bus now?
No, so I think
okay.
you're making that shit up.
I think I dreamt that. This is maybe a deleted
I like
scene.
that. I dream about Slimer driving the bus, but as a deleted scene.
Yeah, it's a deleted scene where he has a monologue.
Yeah, no. So I don't think any of the ghosts talk, so that kind of fits, maybe.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah.
It's very sweet. First time I saw this, I cried my eyes out. You did not. You are tearless.
It's because when I first saw this, I didn't have the same emotion that you did. I felt more emotion watching it now.
Okay.
Because I feel like I've sat with him as a character a bit more.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he's left his friends and there's his family. They must be so proud of him. And that was where I was feeling more
That
emotion.
Makes sense. And then he dissolves into thin air, which we think is his unfinished business.
Yeah, so he makes kind of peace with his friends who obviously gave up on,
Yeah.
and his family. His work's completed that he left them all for. He's made up with them. His job's done, isn't it?
Closure, yeah. If he did come back, would you think that would be a bad move?
Yes.
For that reason?
Yeah, I feel like he's had his closure now. It was done with respect. And I think it's really cherished his memory. Obviously, it's for him as well at the end.
Yeah.
His story's arc's ended now. It's all done.
Yeah.
Let's start off afresh. New villain.
Yeah, new villain.
We've got new characters
New Ghostbusters,
in this.
yeah. Which is, yeah, I agree. I completely agree. I'm glad that this did what it needed to do, but I'm glad we're moving on.
Yeah.
And I want it to be as good as this.
I really hope it is. I think it's going to get a bit fantastical. A little bit maybe like the second one did.
Yeah. I think we're going to get more gadgets. I think we get drones in the new one.
I suppose it's got to match with the times, but then is that going to date it?
That's going to date it, I think.
But then you could say like the remote control car could, but then...
But they had remote control cars in the 80s.
Yeah,
so
who knows?
you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You've got to take that leap somewhere. Let's hope it pays off well. Obviously, this one ends them going back to the city, and then there's a post-credit scene where Winston's like, "I'm a millionaire and I know it." Yeah. That's his dialogue, and he's back at the firehouse, which is a very run-down Starbucks, by the way.
Yes. So Les Aykroyd had the wrong information when he says to Phoebe, "Oh, it's I hear the firehouse is now a Starbucks." No, it's not. It really isn't, mate. Have you been past that?
Unless that Starbucks was bought by Winston and then ripped out, and then this is what we're seeing.
And they kept all the same shit from the last one, including the ghost...
Including the pole.
Including the ghost cellar as well.
Oh yeah, the reactor's there. What were they using that for?
Coffee.
Which, I've had a Starbucks before. Red hot. So that would make sense.
Do you not want your coffee hot?
You do, but not like to the point where you can't drink it for about 3 hours. I'm just saying.
It's just nuclear. It gets warmer and warmer.
Yeah,
like,
oh no! Yeah. Cold coffee. No, hang on, it's going to get warmer. Give it a bit. But yeah, that's Ghostbusters Afterlife. Is it better than Space Jam?
Yes.
Is it better than Ghostbusters 1?
No.
Is it better than Ghostbusters 2?
Yes.
Is it better than Ghostbusters 2016, Answer the Call 2016?
Space Jam's fucking better than that.
Yeah.
Everything's better than that.
But this is better than Space Jam, yeah?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah. It sits there nicely. Yes, it is better than the 2016 one. But again, I feel like the 2016 one was kind of set up to fail a little bit.
Yeah.
And the more I've actually sat on that a little bit since we did the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel so sorry for all those actors in that film.
Yeah.
Because they didn't deserve the shit they got.
Would you be adverse to a crossover for the original Ghostbusters and those Ghostbusters?
Depends how it's done. If it can be done again in a way that doesn't feel like an SNL skit, then maybe. But I don't know.
Unless it went a bit.
I think the time for them has been and gone now.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should leave their film where it is, and
but
it's there now.
Does time not heal all wounds? Like, if they did come back, do you think people would welcome them back with open arms?
Not yet.
You think it's still too soon?
I think it's still a bit too soon, especially because we've just had a film that's kind of the kind of love letter back to Harold.
Yeah.
To add them in now or maybe in the next film, I think it's going to be too soon.
I think there is a problem with, because this is distributed by Sony
Mm-hmm.
and Columbia Pictures, but Sony obviously have Spider-Verse and Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And my worry is that eventually we're going to get a Ghostbusters
Spider-Man
multiverse. Do you know where there's like multiverses of Ghostbusters?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like people are fed up on multiverses and stuff.
I'm completely through with multiverses. I'm sick of them. But if there is eventually more Ghostbusters, I'm kind of all for it. Because that's what Aykroyd wanted in the first place.
Maybe, but I think we've got a bit of a cast now that people are starting to like.
Yeah.
And I feel like it could take people in and out of it, and I think it could still work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we'll see the original crew after this film. I think they'll probably be done.
I'd like them to finish. I don't want them in this one.
I don't think they'll be in it a lot.
No.
I think they'll be in it to kind of give exposition from the looks of it, from the trailers anyway. It kind of gives that away.
Yeah.
But I think after this one, they should probably start thinking about packing it in.
I agree. But we'll see how Frozen Empire turns out. Because it's soon.
Ooh, my God, a few days. I mean, this will drop the day it's out. Won't it?
Yes, this is dropping on the Friday. Yeah, that's Frozen Empire.
We're super excited, guys, because we're going to a fan event.
I'm going to find out the cars there. We're going to get loads of goodies.
They've got the East Midlands Ghostbusters there.
Yep, we get our photo with them, and that will be our profile picture for the next few weeks.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And we're so super excited. I'm Googling for ages to see if I can actually get Stay Puft Marshmallows as an actual thing, and I can't seem to, and I'm so mad.
Not a real thing.
Oh, please.
Oh,
Please someone create them for me.
Do you remember the Exo Cooler?
Yes!
We should get some of that and take that in.
Have a look. We've got a local sweet shop in town, guys, and we're trying to think if we can get this stuff from there.
We'll get it. I remember having a can of that once, and it was not pleasant.
Because apparently, because we're watching it at Cineworld. We're not sponsored by them in any way, by the way. But they brought out 2 limited edition ices for this event.
Mm-hmm.
One's like a lemon and slime.
Lemon slime and a marshmallow.
And a marshmallow one. And I don't know if marshmallow ice is going to taste alright.
I bet that lemon and slime one's quite good.
I'm thinking that could be refreshing, so I might have to indulge.
Yeah. But thanks for listening to Ghostbusters Afterlife. Is it better than Space Jam? Please let us know. Yes, it is.
Hint, yes.
But thank you for joining me, podcast. His name is Podcast because he has a podcast.
Yeah, you have a podcast. I'm just your co-host.
And that is my name, and therefore your name.
I'm the Phoebe to your podcast.
You're the podcast to my podcast.
No!
We both podcast.
But this is yours. I just exist in it.
Well, you should do a podcast then and have your own podcast.
Okay.
The Jade podcast. Where
I'm
everything
going
is
to
Jade.
be the Blurays and Biscuits podcast.
What? No.
Where I eat biscuits and take the Blu-rays.
You'd be the Vimto and video one, wouldn't you?
Vimto and video.
Yeah. Okay. But thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you very soon. Frozen Empire.
Yay!
Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.